so hopefully you've tried out this next one. We're going to see how it went for you. So this next one's a little bit more complicated of a graph with a different rule on it. So let's take a second and we'll figure out what's going on with this one. And hopefully what you've done already matches what's going on. So it says use the graph to answer the following questions. All right, so at what point will the line hit the x-axis? All right, well that means when is it going to hit this bottom line here? Well, I could draw it out and imagine it kind of looks like 3, but again, that's not the best choice to do. The best thing that you should be doing is just taking that 30 seconds worth of time to draw out this rectangle and write down the ordered pairs and see what the pattern is. So I have 6, 3. Okay, that's my x and y. Then I've got 8, 5. And then I have 10, 7. All right, so those are the pairs that I have. So looking at it, how do I get from x to y? This is take away 3, take away 3, take away 3. All right, so this is the rule is take away 3. So my formula for that would be y is equal to x always. But what do we do to the x to get it to change? We're subtracting 3 from it. So how would I get this number? How will I hit the x-axis? Now to hit the x-axis, that's going to mean that I can't go up any. So I want y to be 0. That's how I hit the x-axis. So if y was 0, 0 is equal to x minus 3. What would I have to make x to make this true, to make it be 0? Well, x would have to be 3, because 3 minus 3 is 0. So there we go, that's 3. So I got lucky. I could have just drawn it in and taken a guess. Now, if this line would have been farther out or things would have been cloudy or fuzzy, that would have been much harder to do. So the formula is still always good to have. Now, what's the rule for the given line? We already did that. All right, we already know y is equal to x minus 3. Well, that's easy. And then our last one, how would the line look different if the rule was y equals x plus 3? Now, that's an interesting question because it's asking us what would happen if we changed the formula. Okay, because if you change the formula, things change in the graph. So there are a couple of ways you could answer this. When you have enough experience in this, you might just be able to identify what would happen. But the reality is the easiest way to get it correct would be to take a second and just go through and actually figure out what would be the other points. So if our rule now is plus 3, and I put in those same numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 plus 3 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, 2 plus 3 is 5, and 6. So now graph them out. 0, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6, and there you go. There is our graph. All right, so how would it look different? Well, it looks like it's parallel to this, as good as I can draw at least. So it's not going to be any steeper, okay? Which makes sense because the steepness only changes when you multiply it or divide it. All right, so it's got the same angle that it's going up by, the same steepness. The real big difference with it is this one is always higher than it, okay? So you could also say, well, it's going to run into the y-axis, whereas this one's not running into the y-axis. It's going to hit the x-axis. So there's a lot of different small descriptions you can make. But for me, the most important thing would be for you to realize, since we're adding 3 on, it's always going to be above it, okay? But I also would want you to see it's going to have the same steepness, okay? The steepness will only change if you change what you're multiplying it by. And neither of these are multiplication rules. All right, so you have several to try out today. Be careful because there are some challenge problems on it. When you get to those, the challenge problems are just that, challenging. If you can't get it, stop, okay? I want you to try them. Try each of the challenge problems. You might get it, but I don't want you to sit there for an hour working on a challenge problem because it's probably harder than anything you're really going to have to do in 5th grade. But that doesn't mean that you can't challenge yourself and try something that's a little bit harder. All right, so good luck today. If you need help, stop off at office hours, please. Thank you.